just for a minute. Close your eyes for a second.
Hi Posh fam, welcome back to yet another commentary of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, episode 7 has just aired and we're going to talk about that. First things first, let's just get behind the scenes because the drama is actually now happening post-production of this particular season. And yes, Kenya is no longer on the show, but we are now 7 episodes in, and Kenya is front and center in all of the ladies' storyline this particular year. It's sad to actually see that this woman is now being talked about and not earning from being talked about. Yes, when I said a lot has been happening behind the scenes, Porsha Kenya Moore has gone on to introduce or debut her YouTube channel where she's now giving us a confessional in her own words about the situation that happened with regards to the unaliving threat as well as the revenge P threat or the revenge P aftermath following the fallout from the
I don't understand why any person would come to me
with regards to weapons of mass destruction. I know that's the best way, only word I can use to not get censored by YouTube. Now, before I get ahead of myself, guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please like, comment, share this channel with your friends. And as I've always said, you never know, you might be getting a shout out from me based off of your comment. So, guys, I don't know what you're waiting for. Just go subscribe to this channel. Now let's get into episode 7. But I want to say this. Kenya Moore's confessional is revealed a lot that has happened to her, or the injustice that she feels has happened to her. I'm on the floor, guys. That has happened to her. And I actually feel sad for her because right now there is no resolution. It appears Bravo has dropped her. And for what we saw that happened, yes, it was clearly the wrong thing to do. However, I don't think this level of retribution, it matches the crime. Now, if you followed her confessional that she debuted a few days back, she gave us blow by blow with regards to the threat with the weapon, the comments that followed after, the lack of accountability by Brit, the lies, and the somewhat abysmal investigation by production. And that then saw her taking matters into her own hands, basically saying, if you're not going to protect me, I'm going to protect myself. And we know Kenya. Kenya is the queen of comebacks. Like, she will not let you get one on her. And this has now become her downfall. I still feel, though, without going into details about her confession, because that will be a story for another day if I have the time to comment on that. I think she was meant to be the highest paid housewife on the franchise this season. And production has been looking for ways to get rid of her. They did antagonize her by not showing her spa launch in the last season, because we know that she shot and launched that spa last season, but that was not captured on camera. Apparently, production decided it wasn't film worthy and they cut it off. And here we are giving her a second attempt, and she, decided to do the most with it. Now, before we get to the main gist of today, I have heard a few things on the internet, and thanks to Kempire, Cheryl's word, you guys take the credit, because there's no way I would have had any hint or inclination with regards to what I'm about to share. And I'm not going to go in depth, because if you want all of the deets, just go on Kempire and follow Cheryl and you will get all the gist. Basically, Angela is a fraud, and Kelis is also in debt. Now, she's in debt. Her landlord is suing her for over $100 and something thousand, allegedly, for unpaid rent. Now, we know that, I think, was it episode 2 where she was talking about opening a second restaurant, and they were already behind schedule with the opening and fixing and features and stuff that had to be done on the restaurant before opening. She was talking about, so this particular restaurant had already been leased out by her. But guess what? There's been no communication. There's been no follow-up with regards to her storyline and her restaurant growth. We all know there's been a few legal woes when it comes to her marriage and her divorce from her ex-partner. And now we can hear on the internet that she is getting sued for $100 and something thousand that she is behind on. Girls, pay your rent and stop flashing for our eyes. Because this lady showed off a 17 luxury bag she bought for her 17-year-old daughter. I don't know. Did she really buy those bags, or those bags were just to show or list or rent? Because anything is possible with these women who are living fake lives. Now with Angela, it is not quite clear, but we can now hear that she did work for a bank called Wells Fargo that was called Wachovia in the past, and she used her family members to gain financial headway in the form of loan, and these loans went unpaid, and so the bank had to take on these loans as losses, and in a reprisal, she lost her license, lost her job. She did plead some form of guilt to committing these financial crimes. I don't know. I guess this will be her storyline for season 2, for the next season, because this is her first running. I can't wait to hear how she's going to debunk this, or how she's going to swing this to her favor. Girls, I will repeat this. Yeah, the more you look, the less you see. Social media, it is social media. It's not real life. It is an illusion that everybody is trying to catch on. And that illusion, quite frankly, makes some people go into debt. For what? For who? A total stranger who don't really give a rat. It's about you. Quite unfortunate. Now let's get into this particular episode that was. And it's speaking of ladies living above their means. Brit is attempting to purchase a Porsche. Girl, I thought you were under investigation by the insurance board. I thought your means of livelihood is under question or under scrutiny. Meaning, or did you not say you had lost your license? So how are you now then able to go on and try to purchase a Porsche? Now, we all know the price tag that comes with a Porsche. What's happening, girl? What's happening? Make it make sense. Are you under investigation? Have you lost your job? What's going on? What's happening? Now, between Drew and Brit, they seem to be dragging who's going to be acing the Lion Award for this season. Because those two lie their way through hell. Hell literally will freeze over based off of these two people lying asses. God, I just cannot. It was at this particular dealership that she was again rehashing the drama that happened at the Lemon Peace Brunch, where she pretty much went from 0 to 1,000 on Angela because Angela called her out for her liners, because she did say she was, or she had lost, she told Shimia she lost her insurance license, and here she became, she said, oh, maybe she's under investigation, and now she's trying to buy a Porsche. What is it, girl? What is it? Tell us. Make it make sense. Now, speaking of peace brunch or peace offering, Edie is trying to get Drew to have a sit down with her in order to try and maybe get her to come on her side, because as we all know, Drew had an opinion with what happened at Kenya Spa, and Brit felt like she didn't get the support she needed, pity party victimhood support she needed from Drew, and so she needed to have a private conversation with Drew in order to get Drew to understand she's the victim here and we all need to rally behind her. And guess what Drew did? Drew said, well, I am all for peace and all for trying to get to know you better. Maybe there was a misrepresentation. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I need to hear from you. I need to hear your side of things, but I also need to get clarity. Did you sell the cat? I was like, what? So pretty much Drew asked Brit if she was a street worker. I'm just saying that in not so many nice ways, because I don't know if I say the actual word, I'm gonna get censored for it. But pretty much Drew came on like, tell us, were you an internet pista. What exactly did you do? Did you stand on the streets? Were you on OnlyFans? Just tell us, we need to know. To which she was, I think, shocked at first with the line of all the direct questioning that came from Drew. She said no, but she had done web chat. And this is where I'm confused. Web chat, OnlyFans, and internet P. What's the difference? Because you are pretty much selling your nude online for people to the highest bidder. And when do we then differentiate what is regarded as favors for nudity? I don't know. Or sort of financial gain for nudity. So web chat or webcam or internet P, what is the difference? Like, I don't know. I feel there's no difference. You are either that or not. You're either a prostitute or not. So like, what is it? We just need to know. Maybe they need to clear the air. Is your husband your PRMP? What's going on? We need to. There is, like I said, between Drew and Brit Edie, these two are struggling to get the ACE award for who lies the best. And speaking about lying, Drew had to sit down with Angela. And this is where Angela called her out for another lie she told. Remember in the last episode when they were all talking about the fallout from Kenya Moore's past incident, there was a conversation that led them to mention Michael Jordan, the famous basketball player, to which Drew said she is related to Michael Jordan because her maiden name is Drew Jordan. Now, we actually thought she was saying the truth. Nobody argued with her until Angela went and dug up a few more information to find out. How did Angela get this information? She pretty much knows somebody that knows the Jordans, and they were like, well, we don't know that girl from Adams. And when she was called out on it, she basically said, I was joking, not really, Drew. Why would you joke with that? We don't really care who you are related to. We don't care who's your next of kin. We don't. There was no need for that information that we have now come out to see that was a lie. Gosh. I don't know. Between, like I said, Drew and Edie, we need to give these people the award for the best liar on this particular season. Now, Drew is going through the most. Like I said, this particular episode, this centered around Drew, even though Porsha would like to think that wasn't the case because it was basically a Nashville girls trip celebrating Porsha's birthday. Now, Drew and Raph had their court date. I am not sure how best to put this, but I feel like Raph is treading the wrong path. Now, for some reason, they went to court to determine if the documents following their divorce proceedings would be unsealed by the court, meaning it would be for public consumption. Drew, on the other hand, wanted everything sealed and not released to the public. Raph wants the otherwise. And I think also Drew is seeking for child support and also wants Raph out of the house, to which she was unsuccessful on this particular court. Safe to say, Raph isn't moving out of the lower level penthouse anytime soon. She was a bit emotional. Raph, on the other hand, was very excited and elated about the turn of event. There's one thing I want to say. I do not know why Drew is protecting Raph or the information from being leaked out, which she has no control over now. It's going to be for public consumption. Is there something she's hiding? Because if it's all about Raph, she should be happy to let the world know what an S-bag he is, lack of a better term, or what a douche he is, or a deadbeat that he is. But then she's upset. I don't think so. Yeah, she's about her kids. But guess what? It will definitely come to light. We will all, your kids at some point are going to grow to learn about the dirty deeds that happened during your separation. It's not something you can protect them from. You can shield for as long as you think. However, they're going to grow. They're going to find this out. Best they find out now, and you also telling them in the nicest way with your own words, and that will make more sense than trying to get the court of public opinion to determine what is for public consumption and what isn't. I do feel at this point that there's a lot that will be unfolding with regards to the divorce and separation. That is Ralph and Drew. Safe to say, this might get nasty before it smoothens out, following all that is happening. Now, with that in mind, we already know Drew is not feeling or not in her best. But I would say one thing. There was a clip that saw Drew and her sister at a bar celebrating the signing of her signing into Dennis record music label or something. Now, it's not quite clear. We did see Dennis on cam, and I don't know. Is he part of her storyline? What's going on here? It looks a hot mess. Now, the episode ended with the ladies in Nashville celebrating Porsha's birthday. Now, before that, though, Kelly's invited the ladies to her place, and this is where they all sat down and had a conversation from the peace brunch. Now, remember, Porsha was a no-show because, according to her, she was sick and her kid was sick. And so they had to fill her in on all that went down. And this is where she invited the ladies to Nashville. And they also asked her, did you invite everyone? She said, I invited everyone except Drew. And Kelly's wanted to know, how that situation was. Again, saying a lot without saying anything. Porsha seems to be digging her heels in. She seems to be dragging this Drew Dennis storyline for what it's not worth. We are tired of it. We can see exactly what's happening and what's not happening. We're not fooled. We can see. However, Porsha has got no storyline because your divorce proceeding with Simon, you've been gagged. So there's only a lot or nothing you can say about it, and it's impacting what you're giving us. And so how best to stay on or be relevant is to drag Drew for filth. And this is exactly what she's doing. Now, Angela sat down with Drew to say, this is happening. Although, Drew, you're not invited, I'm going to make you my +1. Drew, knowing she's in a vulnerable spot, didn't want to come. But Angela insisted that she should come. She is part of the girl group and she has to be there. Now, the girls made it to Nashville. Angela came later. So, but not like I would say, this was not an episode that had a lot of content. There wasn't any much juice. Yes, Porsha was celebrating. They were bed sharing or room sharing. All of that went down in Girls Trip according to the women this season. But when it comes to the franchise as a whole, whenever they go out, there's always commotion with regards to who gets the best room. Don't ask me. I do not know. But it should be easy to be solved when you can pick the rooms and allocate each housewife that you would like to have a room. It's quite easy, but they make it so difficult and they try to stretch it for what it's worth, or lack thereof, I would say. Now, whilst they were all trying to have a moment, Angela showed up a little late, and the conversation quickly went to the fact that she had invited Drew. Now, Porsha is making it seem like she has the right to who she invites. Production has got the right to who comes on Girls Trip or who doesn't. This is a cast event. As much as you're making it about your birthday, it is a cast event. And so you saying Drew shouldn't be present, it's not going to happen. You're not going to get paid, or it will not be televised. So that whole drama or scene that I didn't invite Drew, why did you invite Drew? You should have told me this is my birthday. I want peace. I'm like, oh, this is BS. But this is where it ends because they were still trying to argue, or Porsha was still trying to play victim, or felt she was bullied to inviting Drew. We know that's not the case. Like I said, there wasn't much that happened on this episode. Hence the reason I had to go on the internet to give you juice. We're going to go back to them whilst they're still in Nashville to find out how the Drew invitation or Angela inviting Drew plays out, because this is where it kicks off. there was a face-to-face between Porsha and Drew. I think at some point Drew walked out, but I want to see how that happened. Like I said again, guys, there was nothing to be desired on this episode. But thank you so much for uncapping or unpacking with me. My tongue is so tired. Thank you for unpacking with me. I will see you on the next episode. Remember, you are deserving. Stay safe and be focused.